with our book study. This is the last installment of our book study. We will complete the book today, and I am really excited about that. We are starting our work today on page 175, part 5 of the book, Self-Appreciation and the Law of Attraction, Appreciation, the Magical Key to Your Vortex. All right. So, basically, this whole chapter is about competition, how you see yourself versus others, comparison, competition, and how you see yourself. That is the theme of this chapter. Now, when we complete this book, we will start a book study for the book Thrive, which is a book based on 42 illustrations that explain Abraham's teachings. So I am really excited about that, and I will be posting information about that soon enough. All right. Going to take a little bit of a break before I start it. All right, let's get back here. So Abraham says in this chapter that the most important thing with respect to manifesting is self-appreciation, appreciation of who you are. That is the key to everything that we want to manifest. So then Abraham is saying that our physical world is an extension of non-physical energy. And what makes it difficult to understand our connection with Source is that we are so trained on basing our experience of the world based on our 5 senses. Whatever our 5 senses can touch, feel, observe, that is what we consider reality. And there is a bigger reality, a non-physical reality. And so there's a progression that happens. First, there is thought. Thought creates what is called thought form, and then thought form is what gives rise to the manifestation. And so the way I like to understand it, after I studied quantum physics and I started having a scientific understanding of the law of attraction, here's what I understood, is that matter and energy are connected. Energy transforms into matter, matter transforms into energy. Wood, which is matter, when you burn it, transforms into heat and soot. So matter becomes part of that matter, becomes energy, which is the heat part. And heat now is being absorbed by matter, which is us. Our bodies absorb the heat. Other things, stones, rocks, absorb the heat. And that changes their nature. So again, heat is being transmitted to matter, and matter is absorbing it. Energy is being transferred. In the same way, there's a transfer of energy when we think our thoughts. There's a transfer of energy to the things that we are creating in our minds. Those things are held in non-physical form inside what Abraham calls the vortex. So the more thought you give to the creation of what you want, then it starts transforming and becoming physical. This is the process through which manifestation takes place. It's like, you know how we make soft serve ice cream and cones, and you just, if you were to stop that process of putting the ice cream on the cone, then and take the cone away, now you have a half filled cone cup. And that's how energy works. If you stop giving the thing that you are creating, if you stop giving it energy, then it turns out to be half made, and it doesn't pop from the vortex unless you've given it enough energy that makes it pop. So that's the process of creation, and Abraham is referring to it on page 177. They say thought, then thought form, then reality. And what Abraham is then saying is that your inner being part, which is the non-physical part of you, the older, larger, wiser part of you, focuses purely on your request, holding no resistance whatsoever. So then the powerful law of attraction responds. And what Abraham is saying is what they say all the time. Where are you? You've got to get into the vortex. So your vibration has to match the vibration of the vortex in order for you to be able to extract anything at all from the vortex. And how do you get into the vortex? By being high on the emotional scale. It's when you are experiencing satisfaction, hope, eagerness, joy, love. Those feelings are what take you into the vortex. All right. So Abraham says, here's how you tell the difference between whether you are in the vortex or not. So if you are still reeling in the discomfort from your mate's verbal abuse, you are not in the vortex. If you are telling your girlfriend about what happened, defending your innocence in the whole affair, you are not in the vortex. If you are longing for the time when your spouse treated you better, you are not in the vortex. If you are letting it go and remembering how you felt when you decided to marry him, you are in the vortex. If you are not taking his outburst personally and are focused upon other positive aspects of your experience, you are in the vortex. If you feel terrible, you are not in the vortex. If you feel better, you are closer to the vortex. So then Abraham says on page 179, the key to getting inside your vortex is the absolute absence of resistance. Absolute absence of resistance, of achieving complete alignment with all that you have become and all that you desire, and of bringing yourself to your physical experience everything that you desire. It's being in the state of appreciation, and there is no more important object of attention to which you must flow your appreciation than that of self. The habit of thought or belief that holds most people outside of their vortex of creation, more than all other thoughts put together, is lack of appreciation for themselves. So what can you find to appreciate about yourself today? That's the key. Self-appreciation. Why would someone lose self-confidence is the next heading on page 180. And Jerry is saying to Abraham that I used to be a really confident, happy kid, but then I began to accept the criticism of others. I began to feel criticism towards myself, and then I lost my confidence. So now Abraham is explaining, and they're saying, you are right. It is really only through your own experiences that you can understand anything. For this reason, your life has caused you to expand and to launch rockets into your vortex of creation, but true knowledge or understanding is experienced only when you allow yourself to observe from the power of your own experience how your thoughts are affecting what happens in your life. And then Abraham says, the reason why the bravado that you are born with usually fades is because you allow yourself to become distracted from your vortex. In other words, you allow others to convince you that it is more important for you to pay attention to how they feel as opposed to how you feel. Isn't that true? Right? We start paying more attention to what our parents want from us, what our teachers want from us, what people at work want from us. We start calling them right and us wrong. That's how you lose your self-confidence. That's how you lose your self-worth. So then Abraham says that the reason your confidence erodes is because you are not replenishing it. It is not that your self-confidence erodes, but rather that you are disallowing the continual replenishment of it. This is on page 181. As you seek approval from others, you are distracted from your own fountain of source energy renewal. And Abraham calls that looking for love in all the wrong places. So, others' appreciation of us should not be the mechanism through which we replenish ourselves. Others' opinion of us is not important. Our own opinion of ourselves is the most important thing. So then Abraham says, for you to uplift others, you must direct them to their own fountain of replenishment. You do not help them by asking them to respond to your approval or disapproval. Many of you think that the way to uplift others is by showering them with your own approval. And that is wrong. Because basically when we give our approval to someone, we are saying to them that our approval is important. And that's not true. They should be able to flourish whether or not we approve of them. Alright, so then Jerry goes on from there and he says, yes, but when I was a kid, I had people who encouraged me. My grandfather encouraged me. There were teachers at school who encouraged me, and they helped me to feel good about myself. So isn't that a good thing? And Abraham says, yes, it's not that others' appreciation for you is a bad thing. But the thing that is bad is if you become dependent on that appreciation. Appreciation for others is not a bad thing unless those other people become dependent on that appreciation. Because if they become dependent on that appreciation, now they are not filling their own cup. And having the ability to fill your own cup is the most important thing. Because here's the thing. Other people's responses can be inconsistent in the sense that one day they are having a good day, so they are appreciating you all the way to the moon. The next day, they are not feeling happy themselves. Maybe they are low on the emotional scale and they don't have any appreciation to give you. So now that's going to affect your day. So even take the example of a teacher who is always helping you and motivating you and pushing you to do your best. One day that teacher is having a bad day. Maybe they had a fight with their spouse and today they are in a bad mood and they get upset with you. And now you go home and you're thinking, what did I do to deserve this? And your entire psyche, your emotions go down. So you should not become dependent on someone else's praise. Absolutely, we should be able to receive compliments from other people. That is a very nice thing. Giving compliments, receiving compliments, giving encouragement, receiving encouragement is a very good thing. But the moment someone becomes dependent on it, that is too big a responsibility for anyone to bear. Just imagine if someone cannot get out of bed unless you give them accolades. You go and stand at their bedside and you give them 15 minutes of compliments and encouragement, and then they get out of bed. And on the day that you don't do that, they can't get out of bed. That's dependency, right? That should never happen. We should never create that sort of dependency between in any of our relationships. And I find as a coach, when I'm coaching people, I find that a lot of times that kind of dependency develops either between children and parents or spouses. Today, he's in a bad mood or she's in a bad mood and your whole day has gone out the window. That should not happen. That is an indication that you have codependency, which is holding you back. Alright, so then moving along, page 183. So now Jerry is saying, how does law of attraction affect competition? And Jerry says, I liked winning, but I didn't like losing. and I didn't really enjoy others losing even when I was winning. So Abraham says that comparison and competition are a very good thing. And Abraham is saying competition is just an advanced version of comparison. It's a very good thing because it creates desire in you. When you're competing with someone, you want to do something better. You want to create something better. That's a step one moment. So it's a very good thing because it helps you to give birth to new desire. But if you hang in there, if you stay in that competitive space, then it becomes a detriment because it prevents you from getting into step 3, which is allowing. Isn't that interesting? So, but it makes so much sense because as Abraham has taught us over and over again, the vibration of creation is not the same as the vibration of allowing. The thoughts that you think when you create a desire are not the thoughts that you need to think in order to manifest that desire. And so competition is exactly like that. Competition creates a step 1, but competition is not responsible for step 3. If you stay in that mode of competition, then it actually takes away from you what you want to manifest. So I'm going to read from the book. Once your rockets of desire have been launched, the physical competition has served its purpose for you. In other words, competition is a tremendous impetus to step 1 of your creative process, but it is a tremendous hindrance to step 3 of your creative process, and step 3 is allowing. So then the next thing that Abraham is talking about is, what if we are fearing a worldwide financial crisis? And how interesting that is, because that's exactly what is going on these days. All right, let's see what Abraham has to say to that. Hang on one second. So this book came out, was written when the financial crisis of 2008 happened. And it's interesting that just now, due to the pandemic, the world is undergoing a similar kind of a situation. So let's read what this says. So Abraham is saying, Jerry asks the question, what if we are fearing a worldwide financial crisis? Abraham responds, some people are feeling acute fear or anxiety because they are personally right now without work or income. But the fear that most people are feeling today is because of their negative speculation about how bad conditions might yet become, and negative impact that those future unwanted conditions may have on their personal lives. So it's creating a negative visualization about the future that has people in a place of fear. By giving attention to the financial trauma that some people are experiencing, and by adding to that trauma with their own anticipation of how much worse it could become, without meaning to and certainly without wanting to, people are adding massively and even worsening economic situation. Their worried thoughts are not a driving negative force that is somehow affecting the businesses, but their negative vibration is bringing negative things into their own life, which then is affecting their own financial well-being and contributing therefore to the financial crisis. As more people observe hardship and strike a tense resistant pose and therefore disallow their own well-being, others use them as their reason to do the same. And in a very short time, a very negative pattern of resistance can sweep through your population. The good news in this scenario is that in every moment that every person is feeling negative momentum or negative emotion, they are adding more stuff to the vortex of creation. And so the vortex is becoming full of a lot of good things. Now all we have to do is to allow them in. Step 3. Many people, Abraham says, want to experience more personal wealth. And I'm going to read from the book because this part is really, really good. Many people want to experience more personal wealth at the same time that they are criticizing those who are already experiencing personal wealth. For example, people say we need to spend in order to rejig the economy, but then people believe your spending makes us uncomfortable. Then I want to be wealthy, but wealthy people are somehow immoral. And the next one is I would like to be rich, but rich people are depriving poor people of resources. Spending stimulates the economy, but spending is wasteful. Spend and stimulate the economy, but save and sacrifice for the sake of the economy. I want to thrive, but there is not enough to go around. So you see, if you have contradictory thoughts, then you get stuck. You cannot move forward. You cannot get what you want to get because you yourself are blocking it. And then Abraham says, it is natural to thrive. It's natural to thrive. Thriving, abundance is our natural state. It's not something that we have to try to do. If we just stop all the negative chatter, then we would automatically thrive. That takes us to the flawed premise number 22. I can criticize successful people and still achieve my own success. That just cannot happen. You have to appreciate those people who have what you want in order for you to be able to manifest what you want. So then Jerry says, we're talking about selfishness and the law of attraction, and Jerry is saying to Abraham that law of attraction promotes selfishness. And Abraham says, no, not really. We are teaching you to be selfish only about your alignment. Do whatever it takes to make sure that you prioritize your alignment. And when you are aligned, you become the most generous person out there. Because someone who is aligned is prosperous. Someone who is aligned loves everyone. And someone who is aligned has no shortage consciousness. So they are able to be generous and give away wealth because they know that it will be replenished. So, yes, be selfish about your alignment. Absolutely. Be selfish about your alignment so that you can be generous about everything else. Isn't that a beautiful thought? I love it. Okay. In ending here, Abraham says, true success is not the attainment of things or the achievement of tasks or the achievement of financial abundance. True success is the coming into alignment with you. Yes, selfishly aligning with your desires, your clarity, your confidence, your knowledge, your love with yourself. Then Jerry says, if each of us felt totally at one with ourselves, if we were consistently inside the vortex, would there be any need for leaders or people in the world to control us or to tell us what to do? And Abraham is saying, your alignment with Source is so much more than any guidance you could receive from any other place. But they're explaining about leadership, and this is what they're saying. More often, as a leader begins to lead, as he focuses upon the problems to be solved, he moves outside the vortex. People become leaders because they are inside the vortex. That's why they inspire the people. But when they start focusing on problems, they come outside the vortex, and then attempts to lead from his vastly weakened position. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not seek a leader asking him to go into the vortex in order to lead you. We would find our own way in, and we would work to consistently stay there, and we would discover the power that creates worlds flowing through our own fingertips. So we don't need leaders. We just need to be inside the vortex. Then Jerry asks Abraham this question: how can I feel more self-appreciation? Abraham says, the ultimate in self-appreciation is the allowing of yourself to be in vibrational alignment with Source, with the expanded you inside the vortex. Over time, you've developed many opinions and attitudes and habits of thoughts or beliefs about yourself that are holding you back, and you just need to let those go. So then they say, focus on things that are easier for you to feel good about. And then Abraham gives an example. You could think about your pet, because thinking about your pet is an easier thing to appreciate than having to think about the bill that needs to be paid. So just go to something easy, something that is easy for you to appreciate. And once you start feeling appreciation, now you can start extending that appreciation to yourself. Because the more you stay on a vibration of abundance and appreciation, then that vibration affects every single subject in your life. So then Abraham says your physical orientation, I'm on page 189 in case you're wondering, your physical orientation has trained you to be objective, to weigh the pros and the cons of every subject. But you will discover as you play the game that the pros of a subject may very well put you right inside the vortex, while as you focus upon the cons, the vortex will spit you right out. And based on this, I always teach what I've learned from Abraham, and that is that our decisions should always be made based on the pros and the pros and the pros of a situation. And we should just stay away, clearly away from the cons. Hang on, guys. So then Jerry says, what is my purpose for life? And then Abraham replies, we want you to know that you deliberately came to enjoy your exploration of the contrast of your time-space reality, because you knew that it would inspire new ideas and desires, and that it was in fact the foundation for expansion. As we conclude this book, we are going to offer a handful of very simple processes that, if consistently applied, will help you achieve a gradual but steady alignment. So here are the processes that right at the end of this book, Abraham is suggesting to us. The first thing that they're saying is that when you have a belief about something, remember that belief is just a thought, and you think about it often and therefore keep it active in your vibration. So all you have to do is to change that thought. Change the thought deliberately. And so here are the processes that they are offering. A bedtime visualization process. So when you go to sleep, Abraham is saying, as you draw your thoughts inward and away from the world, think about the relationship of your body to the mattress, and imagine the mattress floating or your body being absorbed into it. Relax and breathe and enjoy the comfort of your bed. Say things like, I like this, this is a good thing, I have a good life, and sleep. So what is it? It is in fact an appreciation. which to me is, in the Unlimited Workbook, I teach a bedtime pre-paving. So just do a bedtime pre-paving and appreciation before you sleep. And I've been doing it for so many years now. As soon as I put my head down, I'm gone. I sleep so quickly and so well. When you awake in the morning, deliberately stay in your bed with your eyes closed for a few minutes with the intention of basking in the most pleasant things you can bring to mind. So again, appreciation when you wake up. And then, and pre-paving in the morning, right? Pre-pave your day in the morning. Okay, so then the next one is the focus wheel process. And the focus wheel process, we already know. If you don't understand the focus wheel process, it is explained in detail on my YouTube channel under the book study for the Ask and It Is Given book. There's a whole video about the focus wheel process. So Abraham is saying, during the course of your normal day, you will come across many things. As you see them or remember them, will cause an activation of resistance within you. Just make a note of it and then do a focus wheel around it. And what is a focus wheel? It's just a process that softens your resistance about what feels bad so that you can come back to a place of appreciation with respect to that subject and increase your momentum. All right. And then Abraham is suggesting we do a list of positive aspects, which is just take a notebook and at the top of the notebook write about the name of a subject or anything that you want, and then fill out a page with appreciation for that one person or one thing. The next process Abraham is talking about on page 197 is the Rampage of Appreciation process. And the way the Rampage of Appreciation process works is that once you get on the wheel, the focus wheel, once you get on the wheel, one thought attracts another thought like it. As Abraham has told us, within 16 seconds, you can create momentum. And 16 seconds is basically 4 thoughts. So if you appreciate, if you say 4 things in appreciation of something, you will be well on your way to momentum. And then other thoughts like it will show up because it's law of attraction. One thought attracts another thought, attracts another thought. So as you continue to attract thoughts, you get onto a rampage of appreciation, and the usefulness of a rampage of appreciation is that it takes you high on the emotional scale. And that's it. Those are the processes offered here. Last section on page 198. What is life like from inside the vortex? So Abraham says that when you live life from inside the vortex, you will find the best in yourself and in others, whether they see it or not. And your appreciation for life will ripple through your body in the form of thrilling sensations as you focus upon the objects of specific appreciation. All right. In the end, the last closing paragraph for the book is, you do not have to explain this to anyone else, and in fact, even if you try, they may not understand your words. But it is our promise to you that through the reading of this book, you now do understand your relationship with the vortex, and through the power of the example of your joyous life experience, others may be inspired to want to know also. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. There is great love here for you, and we remain joyously incomplete. That's it, folks. Yay! We have completed our book study of the book, The Vortex. I think there's something like 27 or 28 videos in total. So we've had 28 sessions. which means we've been going on for 28 weeks. And all the sessions are posted to my YouTube channel. There's a Vortex playlist. So if you want to explore the book, first of all, get the book. And second, I can tell you that this book, every single sentence of this book is loaded with a lot of meaning. And that is why we are doing the book study. So if you really want to get into the specifics of what Abraham is teaching, go ahead and visit my YouTube channel and go to the playlist, which has all the 28 videos in it that start from the beginning of the book and go all the way to the end of the book. I have enjoyed this tremendously. Thank you to those who have been joining me on a regular basis for this book study. This concludes the Vortex book study. The next book study that I will probably be starting shortly, although I don't have a start date, is for the book Thrive. And I will post the information for that when I'm ready to get started with it. In the meantime, folks, have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you around. You can come and join me if you like in my Facebook group, which is called Unlimited Life. And the last thing I want to share with you is that the Unlimited 40-Day Law of Attraction Workbook is taught online inside the Unlimited group, and we are starting a new 40-day cycle on August the 15th. So if you would like to join us, or if you want to bring friends and join us, even better, you just have to grab the workbook from Amazon and come and join the group. Proof of purchase of the workbook is required in order to enter the group because everyone is working on the same thing. So if you don't have the workbook, you cannot join the group. The workbook is repeated every 43 days. So every 43 days we start a new 40-day cycle. And so if you are not able to join us this time, you can always most certainly join us for the next cycle. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Bev. It's nice to see you here. Mary Lou, Alia, Bev, Rochelle, Alec, so good to see you guys. Those are the names I can see. I don't know who else is on the call, but I've enjoyed this a lot. I've had a good time with it, and it is an excellent way for me also to revisit the teachings of Abraham, and I love doing that. All right, everyone, love you all lots.